This is a story about one Operation Head Start center. It is also about a set of preconceived ideas and how they were in for a shakeup. These are the leading characters. These are the supporting characters. This is the place to which children came to bridge the gap between their world and the world which was going to offer them an education. This is where they came from, the ghettos, the islands of poverty, in the midst of affluent Van Nuys, California. Yet only 2 blocks away was a prosperous, thriving community with homes like these. In this particular Operation Head Start, the problem to be met was the enormous cultural difference between these Mexican-American children and their next-door neighbors, the children who would be sitting beside them in school next winter. Many of these children spoke only Spanish. Many of them had never seen a book. Most of them knew nothing about the written word or the value system of the society which would offer them an education on its terms, not theirs. But the face of poverty, as we were soon to find out, is not always a helpless and hopeless face. Sometimes it can be full of pride and courage and hope, especially where there is no poverty of spirit. This was one of the first surprises for us at Head Start. This young mother maintains herself and 5 children on an income of $154 a month from social welfare and from taking in ironing. Her children are clean, and Reuben, like any other children who are going to Head Start, was dressed in well-worn but neat clothing. The educational level of the adults in these ghetto communities averages 6th grade. For this reason, the parents felt they would not want to avail themselves of Head Start. They weren't able to see that anything could be gained by it. So our teachers began visiting the parents to explain the importance of Head Start. One teacher was selected because of her fluent command of Spanish. She had worked with the Peace Corps in Chile. Once Reuben's mother understood about Operation Head Start, the teacher began to visit Reuben every day to gain his confidence and to make him feel that she was his friend. This teacher knew about ethnic differences, and she had the optimism born of having seen how human warmth, encouragement, and emotional support can bear results. Most children approach the new experience of school with anxiety. The children of poverty were no different than any other children. But while many children have the advantage of several years of nursery school to prepare them for kindergarten, Operation Head Start could only offer a few weeks. And in these few weeks, we would have to supply, in addition, a language transition and at least a glimpse of some of the things that would be different in the school ahead of them. The idea of creative materials, paints, clay, even the riches of clean white paper were new. But once these children understood that they were free to use them as they chose, their release and their pleasure were exactly the same as that of any child on first coming to nursery school. They timidly watched their teachers and other children to see if they were doing what was expected of them. And soon their shyness vanished. Their similarities and enthusiasm were like any other children. first few weeks, Reuben's mother came to school with him each day to give him the reassurance he needed. Like many of the other parents, Reuben's mother was very cooperative and most eager to help, as she now realized the importance of Head Start. It was one thing to speak Spanish to the parent, but to these children, it would be impossible if they were to start kindergarten in September with no English at all. So throughout the day, in all their work, they learned to see the patterns of the larger community with its public services, such as the fire department. They learned to cooperate with each other. The importance of cleaning up was emphasized as a responsibility. The new manners they were learning were emphasized in dramatic play. In their communication with each other, they began to include more and more English words, and they were given the additional help of special language time. Since some of these children spoke only Spanish when they came to us, lunch and snack time were two important opportunities for language development. It was also at this time that the various cultures could be reflected through the foods we served and through dance, stories, and clothing. Some of these children hadn't tasted milk since infancy. Cleaning up after meals reflected the eagerness with which they took to simple tasks. Music time at Head Start could have been music time in any school, anywhere. The universality of the language of music offered its magic here.
Stand up, Michael, stand up, Johnny, touch your head and touch your nose. Turn around.
Music was another aid to learning English.
Sit down, stand up, everyone, turn around, reach for the sky, reach up so high.
And as each day found them more relaxed and comfortable in their school, they became more and more eager to learn, especially to learn to count. They learned the names of colors and shapes and worked with geometric figures. Each of these activities helped their language development. As activities were carefully structured so that they could experience success, their own self-confidence began to build up. Because of the experimental nature of the Head Start program, teachers had an opportunity to work with new materials and techniques. One of the most exciting times came when the children began to be aware of books. These children, many of whom had never handled books, began to come to the book corner
to share the bright pictures, and to talk about them.
They were eager for every new experience now that their initial shyness was past. No longer absorbed in their own anxieties, they were beginning to be able to play and learn together, to enjoy each other's company, to behave, in fact, like typical nursery school children who were beginning to see the larger world around them. They were even ready to learn that there is still a larger world, a world beyond Van Nuys, beyond this country. The visitors from this larger world helped to make it clear that there are strangers everywhere, and that strangers can be friendly.
Aki from Japan. A nurse from Thailand.
A friend from India, a child psychologist. A teacher from Nigeria who explained her country.
They learned that each stranger had a special and different background, and through music and dance from their own Spanish background, they learned to appreciate their own heritage. Today, in this Operation Head Start school, they are happier and feel more pride, more confidence, and more self-respect. They have been a protected and sheltered majority here. But tomorrow, they will go into the larger community, into the public school, where among their middle-class schoolmates, they will be a distinct minority. How will they adjust to that? Will Head Start have given them the strength to be strangers? Will there be sympathetic and understanding adults in this larger community to follow up what has been accomplished thus far and to evaluate it and work with it? And make sure it does not become simply a part of the statistics of the summer of 1965 to be forgotten in some file drawer? Only if we, you and I, show a sincere, continuing interest can the Reubens profit from the education the community offers them. We must not be guilty of opening a door to show them an enticing vision, only to let it slam again and shut them out.